She looked just like me. Same dark brown eyes, same awkwardly crooked nose I always thought was just a fluke of genetics. Same mole on the side of the neck, the kind of resemblance you only notice when you catch someone in the periphery and feel like you're looking in a mirror that's been tilted slightly off kilter. I was standing in line at the grocery store, debating whether I should buy a bag of overpriced trail mix or stick to the budget-friendly ramen I always leaned on. Then she turned around, and it was like my whole world hiccuped. I'm 24. Grew up in a quiet suburb with the kind of parents everyone thinks are just the sweetest. And they are. Kind. Responsible. PTA presidents. Bake sale volunteers. Suburban dreams. I always felt lucky. But in that moment, staring at this woman who looked like a future version of myself, I felt something shift. It was like my stomach dropped into my shoes, and the world narrowed to just me and her. She stared back at me. Her face went pale. The little smile she had while chatting with the cashier froze, cracked, and then fell apart completely. And then, before I could say anything, she whispered, "Emily?" My name is not Emily. It's Samantha. But my birth certificate, it's a reissue. I found that out later. I didn't say anything. Just blinked. Number. She took a step closer and whispered again, "Is your name Emily? Were you born June 3rd, 2000? I nodded. She burst into tears. The cashier, a bored-looking teen with blue hair, asked if she was okay. She just waved him off, fumbling in her purse for a tissue, her whole body shaking. I hadn't moved. I was frozen. My groceries were half on the belt, half in my arms. I must have looked insane. "I'm your mother," she said softly. "I'm your real mother." I think I laughed. I know it was inappropriate. More like a choked bark of disbelief than an actual laugh. "No," I said. "You're mistaken." But I knew she wasn't. She asked if she could talk to me, said she wouldn't cause a scene. I nodded. I didn't know what else to do. We went outside, sat on the bench near the cart return. I left my groceries behind. That's when she told me everything. Her name is Angela. She was 19 when she had me. Her parents were ultra-conservative, borderline cultish Christians, and when they found out she was pregnant, they gave her two options: adoption or be disowned. She didn't want to give me up, but she was scared and alone. Her boyfriend had taken off the second she told him. She had no money, no support. So she chose adoption. She said she held me once for maybe 5 minutes before I was taken away. Angela said she never stopped thinking about me, that she'd hired a PI once, years later, to try to find me, but the records were sealed. She said she thought maybe I was better off not knowing, that she didn't want to mess up my life, but she always went grocery shopping near the hospital I was born in, just in case. That day, she almost didn't go to that store. She'd gone to a different one for years, but something, a gut feeling, she called it, pulled her there. She said the moment she saw me, she knew. I went home and confronted my parents. They looked like someone had poured boiling water on their heads, pale, panicked. My mom sat down and wouldn't look me in the eye. My dad kept pacing, running his hand through his hair over and over like he could just rub the truth back into his scalp. Turns out it was true. I was adopted. They had always planned to tell me, someday. But someday never came. They were scared I'd reject them, scared I'd go looking for other people. So they lied. They faked a birth story, kept the reissued birth certificate locked in the safe, never said a word. "I didn't want you to feel different," my mom said. "You were our daughter from the moment we held you." And I get that. I do. But it doesn't undo the feeling of betrayal. I didn't speak to them for a week. Didn't speak to Angela either. I stayed in my apartment, ignoring texts, ignoring calls, trying to reconcile the life I'd lived with the truth I'd stumbled into. Eventually, I agreed to meet Angela again. We went to a coffee shop this time, She brought photo albums, old pictures of her as a kid, her parents, my biological grandparents who had both passed, her dog, her college years. She even showed me the only picture she had of herself pregnant. I cried. I cried for her, for me, for the timeline that never happened. She never had other kids, said she couldn't bring herself to try again, said her heart had always belonged to the baby she gave up. I asked if she'd want to be in my life, and she just held my hand and said, "Only if you want me to be." It's been 6 months now. I have a relationship with both sets of parents. It's complicated. Sometimes I feel like I'm living two lives. My adoptive parents are trying, going to therapy, working on their honesty. Angela and I meet once a week for coffee or lunch. We're still getting to know each other. She sends me texts that start with, "I don't want to be overbearing, but," followed by photos of things that remind her of me. It's sweet and sad. The emotions come in waves. Sometimes I feel incredibly lucky to have so many people who love me. Other times, I feel ripped apart, like I was a puzzle solved too late, with too many hands trying to fit the same pieces. I don't know what the future looks like, but I do know that a random grocery store visit changed my life.